Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today it's Tuesday and it's October the 14th, 2025. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. I always say the tide changes so frequently on these YouTube streets. So you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. And our story today comes from the city of Fayetteville here in North Carolina. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, Fayetteville, North Carolina man sentenced to over 150 years for child sex crimes. I'll provide you with a summary here and I'll identify some of my sources for you in the description box. And we're talking about this man pictured here, 41-year-old Dennis Sullivan from our city here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He was recently found guilty of some very heinous sex crimes against children, and the judge saw fit to send him away for what could be described as a life sentence behind bars. And the date of this reporting was September the 26th, 2025. And this is what has been reported by the Fayetteville Police Department. And in fact, it's currently posted on their Facebook page. The report states that back in March of 2024, a juvenile was being seen at our local hospital, Cape Fear Valley Medical Center, and that juvenile verbalized that she was being sexually assaulted and that had been going on for several years. She identified the suspect as someone she knew very well. It was not a stranger, and of course, the Fayetteville Special Victims Unit was called to the scene and they began an investigation. A preliminary investigation revealed the identity of the suspect, someone known to the victim, and his name was Dennis Sullivan, and it was revealed that he had been violating and victimizing that child sexually for over 5 years. The victim underwent a sexual assault examination, during which time DNA evidence was extracted and forwarded to the North Carolina Crime Scene Lab for analysis. And a few months later, in June of 2024, Sullivan was arrested and charged as follows. He was charged with forcible, RAPE, sexual battery, and incest. And the charge of incest means he was either the guardian or custodian or the natural parent of that juvenile child. It would be interesting to know what happened between March when she made the complaint and June. It doesn't say, but I'm certain she did not return back to that home. And before a grand jury could even convene to hear his case, more victims were identified, causing him to be charged with 13 additional sex charges against a juvenile. Now, there's a lot of information about this case we will never know. That's because of the age of the victims. Whenever children are involved, the law tries to shield them as much as possible. But I can tell you that the district attorney did not waste any time taking this case to court. Last month, September 2025, Sullivan faced a jury of his peers in a Fayetteville, North Carolina courtroom and had to answer for his crimes. Sullivan's trial began on September the 22nd, 2025, here in Cumberland County, and after listening to all of the information presented in court, that jury found Sullivan guilty of 10 sex crimes against children. He was found guilty of 3 counts of statutory RAPE of a child aged 13, 14, and 15, 3 counts of sex offense with a child aged 13, 14, and 15, 3 counts of incest with a child, and then another count of incest. And again, these children, apparently, he was either their guardian or their custodian, or he lived in the same house with them. There was a relationship, and that's how he's being charged with incest. But nonetheless, he was found guilty of 10 charges against children. And that judge showed him no mercy. Superior Court Judge R. Hicks sentenced Dennis Sullivan to the maximum possible sentence. The judge sentenced him to between 150 years to 210 years behind bars. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. 150 years is the minimum sentence. It is safe to say he received a life sentence. Dennis Sullivan would never again experience life as a free man. Well, victim advocates are celebrating, and it's about time. Thank you, Judge Hicks. Thank you, prosecuting attorneys. We simply love this type of sentence because for too long, the predators have had the upper hand. For too long, victims have felt let down by a system of justice that should be on their side. This is the sentence that seems to send a strong message to violators. They're coming for you. It's just a matter of time. And it also gives a bit of hope, a bit of reassurance to those victims who are sitting back wondering whether they should even bother to come forward and share their stories. And another chapter is closed, but it's only one. It's just a small speck in a major problem. And I want to close by leaving a message to victims. If you're a victim and you're listening to this video, I want you to know you're not alone. Whatever happened to you is not your fault or is not your fault. And there's no shame in coming forward and letting someone know what you're going through. I know it takes courage, but let this video be your guide. Look at what happened when a teenager found the courage to tell someone what Dennis Sullivan had been doing to her. You see, he's going to be spending 150 years in prison. 150 years in prison. And here's my advice to you. You no longer have to carry the guilt and the shame of what others have done to you. Speak up and tell your story. Find someone you can trust. And if you can't find anybody, call the police. It's as simple as picking up the phone and dialing 911. It does not matter how long ago you were violated. You can still achieve justice. And you need the support just to make sure you're able to go on and live a productive and a happy life. We all deserve that. And keep in mind in our state, there's no statute of limitation for sexual assault. So no matter how long ago you've been violated, you can still achieve your justice. And that's all I have for you right now, but feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video, and by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks like just like this one, that's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.